Hi, hello. We're back.
Yeah, it's another wonderful, exciting time.
It's the princess and the priest.
Well, Lisa has such a better attitude about all this stuff than sometimes I do. This is good. This is good. Because I get cranky fast, I'm sorry to say.
This was his idea to do these. But I'm here.
It seemed like a good thing to do at the time.
I'm doing it.
Talking about the Sabbath day, which is our subject today, this is probably an appropriate thing to do on the Sabbath day.
That's right.
And we're going to get into that, and hopefully I'm going to be smiley and I'm not going to say, oh, give me a freaking break. Okay.
So what is the Sabbath day? What does that mean?
I don't know.
Well,
remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Old commandment reestablished time and time again.
And it comes from a Hebrew word which means rest. And I can remember when my kids were little, on Sunday afternoons, I would take a nap because
we would both.
I was exhausted.
Yeah.
After a week of work, and running after kids and taking care of it, this, that, and the house, and cooking and shopping and cleaning, and running after a disabled child, I needed a rest, and that one little nap on Sunday, it was amazing. It was like God refreshed my whole body, and I was able to make it through another week. And I know that sounds crazy, and they say, oh, no, that doesn't mean that taking a nap isn't what it means to keep the Sabbath day holy.
I don't care what people say.
But let me tell you, God knew I needed that nap, and he blessed me for it. So rest, definitely.
She can't do it now.
No.
I can do it occasionally.
And it wasn't a very long nap either.
But it was worth every second.
Oh, yeah.
Now, when Lisa says a disabled child, don't think of somebody in a wheelchair. No. Think of a wild, crazy little Tasmanian devil.
That's been raised by wolves.
That's what disabled means. Okay. All right. Hebrew word meaning rest. Yeah, there we go. This was the time that it used to be. We used to commemorate after God finished with creation. That seventh day. And he said, we're going to rest for our labors, and this is going to be a sign to us forever. A sign of the covenant between God and his people. Oh.
And he blessed the Sabbath day, and he sanctified it. So
I'm trying.
But now,
I don't do a bad job, I guess.
The Sabbath day, it's kind of been changed.
Yeah.
Because of the resurrection of Jesus Christ.
Now it's on that day.
Yes.
Which is Sunday. It used to be Saturday, now it's Sunday.
Right.
Which makes every kind of problems. You got the Jews and they go, our Sabbath day's on Saturday. So if you live in Israel, everybody has to rest on Saturday.
Right. And then I guess
or a Seventh-day Adventist.
Yeah.
Who are the guys that go, oh no, we're going to go with that stuff. And you go, that's fine, whatever.
Yeah.
Except that you live in a country where people don't do that. I figure
as long as you are resting every seventh day, you're good.
I don't know. Okay. Holy day ordained by God for us to rest from our daily labors and worship him. I'm pretty good at resting from our daily labors. I don't know if what I end up doing is really very worshipful. I go to church.
Yes. And we do this. And
yeah, we do this.
We do a few other things that are...
I tend to look at
the Savior.
Look at videos that are probably appropriate.
Yes.
To try to focus our lives on Christ.
And discuss things and talk about them.
Yeah, I don't know if that's very restful or anything.
No, but it's something that we don't normally do on a regular day.
Lisa wouldn't put up with it any other day. I make her nuts.
I don't know about that.
I love Lisa. Okay.
And
it was made for our benefit, and I think that's actually true.
Which is why I think that nap was he allowed me that nap because
That's right.
it was for my benefit, or else I would have died.
To be honest, I don't think anybody should judge anybody else's Sabbath day activities, period. Don't even start.
No. You need to decide whether the things that you do
Yeah.
are okay with God or not.
Now, everybody's going to give you crap if you go out water skiing and having a great time on Sunday,
Oh,
but
yeah.
you know what? It's not going to be me doing that. It's going to say, you know what? Whatever gets you away from where you are, hopefully you're using it to stay close to God,
And-
but not yet.
Yeah, and I can remember asking my mom, why can't I do this, because it was a Sunday. Somebody had a birthday party, and
We used to have big, long lists of things you should and should not do on Sunday.
yeah,
And they eventually just said,
no.
don't do that. Don't make all those really restrictive lists, because it makes people crazy and say I would just avoid the Sabbath because
Which is
it's
really
just such
funny.
a mess.
That she wouldn't let me go to that birthday party on
Yeah.
a Sunday, but on my 8th birthday, she invited the family over to celebrate my birthday.
We all get to look like huge hypocrites over the whole concept of the Sabbath, I got to tell you.
And I got
It's
sick.
rough.
I mean, literally
Yeah.
vomiting.
Okay. So this particular way of looking at it here in the Gospel Principles Manual gives a little bit of a prescription for what's okay and what's not,
yes.
even though they swear it doesn't. Not merely to rest from work. So it's a sacred day to be spent in worship and reverence. And yeah, it says our minds are free to ponder spiritual matters. They try to spin it in a really positive way, when you're saying, I'm not allowed to do this, and I shouldn't be thinking about this, and I shouldn't be doing this and doing this. And you end up getting kind of wrapped up in the whole thing of, man, I'm not really happy with this day because it's all kinds of stuff. Our minds are freed to ponder spiritual matters. I love it.
Yes.
It's great.
Yeah.
Renew our covenants with the Lord. Go to church. Go to sacrament meeting. That's where the sacrament is, where you renew your covenants. I don't go over to the temple because it's closed.
Right. And feed our souls on the things of the
On
Spirit.
the Lord's Day, the temple's closed. Isn't that funny?
Well, we have other things to be worrying about.
Right. A little jowly here.
Well, does that help?
Lisa has said to me, I'm gaining weight again. And it's like, oh, great. Now I'm in trouble.
You're not in trouble.
But I need to do something or it's going to become a major feature of life.
Okay. Just don't
Pardon
be like
me.
Tucker Carlson and go get a can of Copenhagen. I will be upset with that.
I'm not in, I'm not into the nicotine to begin with.
Just because he dropped 40 pounds doesn't mean that's the way to do it.
No, he dropped back to his weight that he was at when he was using tobacco products. I don't, so I wouldn't drop back to anything. It'd probably swell up even worse.
Anyway, this is the history of the Sabbath day.
We were having fun.
It all kind of goes back to when God was creating the earth.
Right.
And 6, I guess, time periods, you can call them days if you want, was made in creating the earth and, the water, the animals, the plants, man. Anyway.
Little bugs.
Yeah, even the creepy crawly things.
Creepy crawly things, yep.
And on that last time, he said it's time for us to take a rest for a season.
After he dealt with creating man, knowing what was coming, it was time to take a little break before man started screwing everything up again.
You could say after creating woman, because she was the last thing to be created.
It's true, but I don't want to say anything bad about women because it does not help.
Anyway.
At all. Don't bring it up, guys, just in case you're thinking you can do that. Don't do it.
But then, later,
Yeah.
the Jewish leaders, I don't know if it's the Pharisees or the rabbis or the Sadducees or
they
whoever,
started doing it from the very beginning.
They started making rules.
Oh, yeah, because everybody said, well, what's okay and what's not? Because back in those days, if you didn't toe the line hard, God did stuff to you. Unpleasant stuff. So they were really weird about saying, you need to tell us exactly what's okay and exactly what's not. And they did.
Yeah.
And some of it was really picayune.
I can remember in my primary class when I was a little girl, and they talked about how far people could walk, and it's like, what if you walked to like the outhouse to go to the bathroom?
It's too far.
And you were, yes, what would you do if you all of a sudden you were walking back and you couldn't take that next step? You were just standing on one leg.
You have to poop in a corner. You have to go poop in the corner of the house, and then you have to clean it up the next day because you can't clean up poop on the Sabbath. Hello? How hard is this? Come on.
And I thought, that is the silliest rule.
Man,
that anybody could have come up with.
That's all I know is that's how they looked at it. And of course, here they call it something. I forget what they called it. They actually gave it a term. Unnecessary.
Yeah.
Unnecessary rules. And I said, boy, you can try to explain that to a Jew and they'll like go ballistic on you.
And yet, Christ was
Orthodox
criticized for healing the sick on the Sabbath
yeah.
day.
Jesus broke the commandments around the Sabbath day on a regular basis, and that was basically most of these people's problem with Jesus.
Yeah.
Was that he was creating this new kind of a religion. And he didn't do it just
once. He did it over.
He did it all the time. Of course, he said, I'm God. I get to say what's okay or not. And that really got him going, too. Okay. All right. Sabbath was changed to the seventh day of the first day. We already talked about this a little bit.
Yeah.
This is when Jesus was resurrected. And we commemorate this happening.
But we need to honor the Sabbath day and keep it holy, regardless of if you're a Jew and it's a Saturday or whatever on a Sunday.
And the big question is, what on earth does that mean? What's keeping a day holy? What does that mean? And of course, people try to explain. Now, in case you say, well, the Latter-day Saints aren't really weird about that these days. No, we are. Our previous prophet, Russell M. Nelson, got on to us which is rare to do outside of general priesthood meetings, which we stopped happening.
But
women just sat there and went, oh my gosh, I can't believe he's talking to me this way. And you go, you've never been to a priesthood meeting. Oh my gosh, we get castigated all the time. It's part of the fun of being a leader is to be able to rail on the men. All right, sorry. Anyway, yes, it is still a big thing, and he did get on to us about saying that we had been negligent in keeping the Sabbath day holy. Of course, don't have anything prescriptive about what exactly that means,
right? And
that's okay, I guess, except that we needed to do a better job of whatever we were doing to do it better. It's tricky. It's a tricky. I would say keeping the Sabbath day holy is one of the most vague and tricky commandments
it is.
There.
But it talks about, in the Doctrine and Covenants, it talks about resting from their labors.
Yeah.
But that
you shouldn't be doing the normal work that you do every other day.
But that also includes not doing things where other people have to work.
Right,
like
which is
going
tricky.
Out to eat after you get out of church. Go to a restaurant.
Going and filling up your car with gas, although that's not much of a thing because it's all electronic and nobody has to pay. Nobody really has to work that. But I think it's still kind of, those guys say don't do that. Back in the old days, it was even a thing where you had to let your animals, your work animals, rest too. If you had the ox that went around the mill grinding grain, you didn't. you were going to get into big
didn't
trouble if you had that animal doing that on the Sabbath. He needed to rest too.
Our friend in Muleshoe who runs a dairy, didn't
Yeah.
he say that he waits to milk his cows so that he can
Does he?
keep the Sabbath day? Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I think he has
And
to
he
keep
said-
more of a Jewish sort
And
because you
he's-
can't go
yeah.
24
No,
hours.
It's from the sundown to
Yeah,
sundown.
yeah,
But
he does that, which is perfectly
he also
acceptable
said
to me.
that he's been blessed with more milk.
Sure. Oh no. There are definite blessings that come from being obedient to this. But you have to, it's the whole thing about you have to decide for yourself what a good keeping of the Sabbath is. And you need to, I think you need to be consistent, as consistent as you can be. And you need to make sure that it includes Christ in what you're doing. Like, I was just doing this and I was watching this video and Christ was discussed. I felt good about that. The next one, not so much. So the next one after that, none. And it's like, I think I've gotten off the thing. And then there's cat videos.
Anyway.
And I'm sure that I'm going to get into some trouble, even though I don't usually watch cats videos any other time except on Sunday with Lisa. Because that's usually the only time that we're watching
together.
Just videos, period. And yeah, we can get caught in doing that too. And it's like, I think I'm stretching.
Yeah.
And I need to do a better job.
Definitely.
You do a better job.
We all need to do a better job. But anyway.
But see, that's always the way it goes. God never says it's sufficient. It just doesn't. It's not there in the lexicon. It's just not there. Christ will always say, could you do better? And the answer is always, well, of course I can do better. And it's like, okay, get to it. And it's like, it's just a never-ending cycle of tighter and tighter and tighter and tighter. Right. And it's tough. And I'm sorry, it makes Lisa feel bad, and I apologize.
Okay, so President Spencer W. Kimball.
Oh, he did some prescriptive stuff.
He said if we are merely lounging about doing nothing on the Sabbath, we are not keeping the day holy. And that's why my nap on that every Sunday was very short, but it was enough. And the Sabbath calls for constructive thoughts and acts. And, I can remember having like a Sunday box for my kids. There was like a shelf of like special videos or DVDs that they could watch.
Yeah, we still have the Sunday videos here.
Because they had to do with Jesus.
Right.
Or in the box were games or puzzles or whatever that had to do with Jesus Christ or the Sabbath or, Noah's Ark or something to do, a story in the Bible. And I remember Jason would tell a story from the Bible, and then one of the kids had to tell a story. And to see how far you could go before you ran out of stories. And it was interesting how far it actually, at the beginning.
I don't remember any of this.
Oh, I do. You and Shana would go at it like crazy. And at the beginning, it was really short because Shana didn't know a whole lot of stories. But as she would listen to him tell stories, she would remember them. Oh. And then as he continued to tell more stories, she would remember those, and they would just keep going. And it was great.
I just know at the end of days and all this stuff, I think even with all that effort, I don't think our children really essentially grasped
internalized it.
And found it pleasant or pleasurable. I think it was always a horrible.
It's Sunday.
When is Sunday finally going to be over so I can do what I want to do? I
can remember.
I get that.
When I was growing up on a Sunday, I had to wear a dress. I was not allowed to wear shorts or pants. I was not allowed to go outside to play.
And
there were no videos and DVDs to watch.
That's right.
There were no games to play. That had
maybe
to
a couple.
It was a whole lot.
It was see, and you can see if you do it that way, you're going to have people that want to have nothing to do with it.
I mean, I
when they
do.
finally get some control over it. Well, Lisa's
I do.
absolutely.
I'm very conscientious.
Yes, Lisa's
I'm very
conscientious enough for 5 other people, all wrapped up in one little body. It's amazing. But yeah, you can also see why if you take this to kind of
an extreme.
an extreme level at all, you will absolutely run your kids out of any kind of a Christian religion because they go, this sucks.
I want to go out and to the beach or go boating or
and a lot of them will just go absolutely overboard. I would have to say that at least a third of people who decide they don't want to be Latter-day Saints anymore as adults, I blame it on crushing Sabbath requirements.
And the Sabbath should be a joy, though.
Yeah, I know, but it's really hard to make it a joy when it's like that because here it is.
It's kind of like those Pharisees or rabbis or where they're putting all those laws. You can only take.
Oh yes.
Make this kind of knot on the Sabbath, and you can only walk these many steps on the Sabbath, and you can.
I can see Jews dangling from the freaking rafters. That means committing suicide, because they just don't want to have to live with these kind of strictures. And Jewish law was horrendous about how it would treat you if you didn't do it right. I guess. I don't know. Anyway, it was really interesting. Here's this thing right up here. It says, our prophets, these are the modern prophets, have told us that we should not shop, hunt, fish, attend sporting events, or participate in similar activities on this day. And I think what President Nelson was talking about is that these particular activities and the prohibition on doing them on Sunday were very roundly ignored by a lot of Latter-day Saints. Yeah. And I think that's what he was talking about. And everybody who doesn't do those things and tries to do things something spiritual would come back and say, "Oh, I'm doing a bad job. I need to do so much better," and then start tightening the vice grips.
Isaiah said
we
should call the Sabbath a delight.
Yeah, I know, and it's like, okay, are we going to get there at some point? I don't know how we are.
I know that sometimes I would spend my time writing in my journal. Yeah. All the things that happened during the week that I was just too busy to write down.
That's a fine thing to do.
And I remember my mom suggesting me doing family history, but that was back in the day when it was all snail mail, and you had to write older relatives that you didn't even know and ask them these questions, hoping that they would send something back to you, or writing to some courthouse in some city whose records probably all burned down
and
years ago.
Pay them $35 or $40 to go and search in the records to try to find a marriage certificate or a birth certificate
and it just,
or something.
It just wasn't.
It really wasn't. It was a hard slog. It's much easier now. Yes, so I'm very happy with Family Search and Ancestry.com if you have some more money to spend. And anyway, and it makes it a whole lot better and a whole lot easier. Doing those things is wonderful.
Yes.
So there you go. It makes me feel better that I'm not just turning Sunday into some kind of home baton death march.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I actually have a great uncle that was on the Baton Death March. That doesn't justify me making those kind of references. But I use it because at least people back in my generation and before understand what that means. And you go, yeah, it says it does. Sometimes Sunday just feels like a big Baton Death March if you're just saying, I'm just got to get through this next few hours and then I can find some peace.
Yes. And then, so here's some ideas they gave.
Thank you.
For keeping the Sabbath day holy, which one of them is attending church.
Yes.
A lot of people these days don't even go to church unless it's Christmas or Easter.
Yeah.
But we need to attend
if
church.
You go more often, you take the sacrament more, stuff like that. Of course, the thing that makes it hard, and people came back and complained, when President Nelson cut down our church meetings from 3 hours to 2, and then it was like, now we've got a whole nother hour to fill. So what do most wards and branches do? They get a whole ton of meetings in there so that you're
still there
stuck
for another hour.
in church business meetings for hours and hours and hours. And you can tell people, I don't think this is what anybody intended, but they don't change any of it. No. Are you crazy?
But also,
anyway, I think it's hilarious.
You can minister to others. You can visit the sick.
Oh,
those who are
I don't
really
think most
old.
of my ministering families want to see me. I'm trouble.
You can listen to uplifting music. I like to sing them myself.
She does.
Until my voice goes, and then I can't sing anymore.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, and then okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. And then we have our family council, which we do.
Yes.
Which helps, although it doesn't take more than like.
And in our family council, it doesn't.
We sing.
We sing.
And we pray.
We go over our calendar so everybody knows what's happening during the coming week. It
used to be more interesting when there was more of us.
We go online to look at things from the church website, and I mean we've read or listened to all of the chapters of all of the volumes of Saints, and now we're doing some other thing.
That's actually a history book of the church,
right?
That has been recently done.
And so, and we have met with this, and his attention span is not very big, so we have to make sure it's not
Depends
too
on what
long.
You're doing. Yeah,
yes,
that's true.
And so, then we end with a closing song and a closing prayer. But he's ready for it as soon as we finish lunch. He's got it going up on our big screen, and he's got his calendar, and he's ready, and he just sits there trying to be patient for me to finish eating, because I'm a very slow eater. And anyway, so we spend some of our day doing that. And then there's also...
You don't have to do a lot of letter writing to your missionaries anymore, or your loved ones, because you can text them, you can call them. But that's okay. It's still the same thing. You can still have relations with your family. And waiting for some of our family members to call, even today.
Usually our kids call us and talk to us.
One of our kids, number 1, 2, 3, 4, contacted us today. Actually trying to make arrangements.
I
you did.
Contacted him first.
See what happens, man. Kids, call your parents so they know that you still think about them.
And you honor and obey them.
Well, I don't know about obeying. That would be huge. No. Honoring's fine, which just means you acknowledge that we're still alive.
Yes,
and that you still might actually like us a little.
Or think about us or something.
Yeah, that'd be nice. I don't get that much. But I do a little. And I appreciate when it happens. It's like, oh, wow, my kids can actually remember me. And maybe even like me. And don't feel like it's some kind of horrible obligation. We don't want the Sabbath day to just become yet another weird obligation we feel like we have to make to something. It's exactly what Lisa was talking about, and what this book talks about. Needs to be a joy and bring us true rest. A delight, yes. Okay, Lisa was talking about the blessings of doing this, right?
Yes.
Our friend who is the dairyman,
he got
blessings. I don't know which ones they were, but he got them, and I trust him. He's a pretty straightforward, honorable guy. He doesn't just tell you something to make you feel better. It's actually honest, and I appreciate him for that. All right. Sorry.
Okay, and if we honor the Sabbath day the way we're supposed to, we can receive not only spiritual blessings, but also those temporal blessings like more milk.
Is that the fullness of the earth is yours? Is
maybe,
more and more milk?
Maybe. It could, because this is a scripture. Okay.
Maybe my garden would grow better.
We can receive the fullness of the earth is yours, whether for food or for raiment, or for houses or for barns or for orchards,
I
or
don't
for
have
gardens,
most of this
or
stuff.
for vineyards.
See, the Lord can't bless me much because I don't have most
We
of
have
this.
gardens, and we have houses,
Yeah.
and we have need
I
food.
feel bad because I think we grow like potatoes all the time.
And never
And
harvest them.
yeah, nothing ever gets harvested to my.
It's my bad.
Well, I could help you, but I don't.
Yeah. Okay. So anyway,
They just rot in the tubs we do them in.
The Lord says, yea, all things which come of the earth in the season thereof are made for the benefit and the use of man, both to please the eye and to gladden the heart. And last year was the first time I planted
flowers.
marigolds.
Which were great because it chased off the bugs that usually go after our tomatoes.
But you know what? It pleased my eye. And
It was.
It really
They grew really well.
My heart. They did. They grew beautifully.
They did great. In fact, I think they would have taken over the tomatoes if we would have given them a better chance.
But yea, for food, for raiment, for taste, and for smell, which marigolds don't smell.
Isn't it interesting that almost the whole thing of this is about having a really nice vegetable and flower garden?
And to strengthen the body and enliven the soul.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what food strengthens the body.
Yes.
And those pretty flowers enliven the soul.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
it's my never-ending hope that I can get rid of the grass in my front yard because I hate mowing it, and Matt doesn't seem to mind, but at some point I'm probably going to have to take over that job again too. And it's like I would rather grow something else that I don't have to mow. And we've tried and tried and tried, huh?
Yes.
Certain little things.
Nothing grows, just weeds mostly.
Weeds
a little bit
and
of buffalo grass,
which I'm sorry, grass is about akin to weeds to me because they get into everything. They tear up our tomatoes.
But let me tell you, our street grew better grass than our yard.
Yes.
And they just came and scraped
all that off, which is great. I wish they would have sprayed something to make sure nothing grew back, but that would be dangerous because they would overspray and they would kill everything.
And not only
so I don't blame them for not doing it.
It all goes into the water system.
Oh yes, it's evil. Oh. And this is the kind of stuff that we discuss and we talk about on the Sabbath day. And I don't know if it keeps it holy or not. I don't know.
But I know that when I go off
to
do my shopping or to go to the temple with you.
Not on the Sabbath.
No, not on the Sabbath. I can look out and I can see all of the mesas and even sometimes some of the animals. I've seen deer and those little pronghorn things.
Springboks or something.
Yeah. And I've seen coyote, and I've seen skunk, of course. I've seen jackrabbits and those cute little kangaroo mice.
Rats, those little kangaroo rats, yeah.
And, of course, hawks bloop, 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 and the ravens. And anyway, even though we don't have a whole lot of trees here, it's still, I am amazed at the beauty that I see, and I always thank Heavenly Father for creating this beautiful world. And
which is definitely something
which He did
that you can do on the Sabbath day that is good.
And He did that in 6 days. He created all that wonderful beauty that enlivens my soul.
It might be those 1,000-year-long days, but that's okay. He got it done.
Yes. And
on schedule, too.
So I can only...
We don't have 8-day weeks, thank goodness. He got it in at 6, so we could have the 7th day and rest and all's well.
I can try to make time to thank Him on the Sabbath day for those beautiful creations.
Absolutely.
And I also can, when I'm journaling about things that have happened during the week, I can always take time to remember the spiritual moments or the tender mercies He has sent my way and record those for myself and for my future posterity.
And I do audio recordings, but that doesn't work.
No, because I'll never be able to find it.
it would disturb Lisa's stuff. So this is the closest thing I've gotten this little video series here. I don't know what we're going to do after this, but we're going to
No.
do something.
We'll think of something.
We'll come up with something. And this is part of, and it's not a journal in my case. I do that other ways. That's okay. But those are other good things to do on the Sabbath, to try to do what the Lord wants us
And
to do out of the ordinary.
think more about Him and keep Him close to our hearts.
Yes. All right. I think that's it.
That's it.
That was a lot. And at least I didn't do too many of my traditional tangents.
Yeah.
A few. Come on.
I did too.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm rubbing off on Lisa. I love her so much, but she's starting to get my interesting habits.
So anyway.
That's it.
We
should stop now.
We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.